and he's taking this close to 9 p.m. and then getting up super early, somewhere between 4 and 6 a.m., taking another dose. So if he's hopped up on Adderall, when the hell does Sam go to sleep? How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today, big explosive witness testimony from Nishad Singh, the former close friend and confidant of Sam Bankman Fried. The other explosive thing that came out is Sam Bankman Fried's lack of Adderall. Apparently he's demanding a higher dose of Adderall for his fraud trial because it's going to help him not only focus, but it's also going to help him, according to his lawyers, it's going to help him decide if he himself should actually take the stand. So let's hope that he actually does take the stand. So I'll take a look at the letter that was written by Sam's lawyers demanding or asking for more Adderall. On top of that, I'll go over the details of Nishad Singh's testimony in full detail, and I'll work on having those chapters laid out so that you can just skip along, or if you don't want to hear the nitty-gritty details, you can find your spot where you want to catch up with the trial. And just as a side note, for you guys' information, I do all the filming myself, the recording, the editing, thumbnail, the research to aggregate everything and come up with hopefully a very detailed summary on exactly what is happening. So if I look like I haven't slept, well, that's probably because sometimes I haven't. So my apologies in advance if I'm not as pretty as some of the other YouTubers. So here's the letter from Sam's lawyers written to Judge Kaplan, all concerning his medication. I'll go over it in detail, and this is a very important thing for Judge Kaplan and for the prosecutors and of course the jail to get their act together. The reason why is because Sam's lawyers can argue, make the argument, possibly during the defense portion of his trial, but certainly in appeal. If he gets convicted, they can make the argument that he didn't get a proper trial, all because of his history of taking this medication. As they say, Sam Bankman has not been able to maintain focus during his trial days. Sam has been doing his best to remain focused during the trial for the past 2 weeks. Apparently he can't focus, despite not having his prescribed dose of Adderall during trial hours. They say as they approach the defense portion of the case and the critical decision of whether Sam Bankman Fried will testify, the defense has a growing concern that because Sam's lack of access to Adderall, he has not been able to concentrate at the level he ordinarily would have, and that he will not be able to meaningfully participate in the presentation of the defense case. Extremely important that Judge Kaplan takes this into consideration. They go on to say that we appreciate the efforts of the court and the government to find ways to address this issue. They say that the defense has attempted to resolve this matter with a BOP, likely the jail system there, but they've received no responses to numerous emails and messages. As discussed with the court on Friday, they say the current proposal is to give Mr. Bankman Fried a 12-hour extended release 20 milligram dose of Adderall in the morning before he's transported into the courtroom for trial. They say they're hopeful this will resolve the situation, but it's not clear whether the BOP will in fact be able to provide an extended release dose to Mr. Bankman Fried before trial resumes on Monday. And they finish off by saying that even if all of this occurs, even if the extended release dose is received by Sam, they say there's no way of really knowing at present whether the extended release dose will be enough, will be effective for Mr. Bankman Fried. So essentially they're priming, I think, they're priming an argument that can be used later. Extremely important that this is taken seriously. Also super interesting and absolutely wild, the footnotes, the info in the footnotes in this letter. As it says below, since trial has begun, Sam has been given one dose between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. before he's transported to the courthouse, which they say wears off by the time trial starts at 9:30 in the morning. Here's the wild part. It says that Sam receives another dose of Adderall between 8 and 9 p.m. at night. He does not receive another dose until he returns to the MDC jail between approximately 8 and 9 p.m. Adderall, it's amphetamines. It's an upper. If you've ever taken it, oh my God. Last time I took it to study for some big exam, I was doing backflips. My heart was racing like mad. And he's taking this close to 9 p.m. and then getting up super early, somewhere between 4 and 6 a.m., taking another dose. Absolutely wild. So if he's hopped up on Adderall, when the hell does Sam go to sleep? And I understand that those with ADHD and those without ADD, they have absolutely separate reactions to Adderall. Totally understand. But still, that's super wild. The second footnote, that they've emailed the MDC Assistant General Counsel, the counsel representing the jail, on October 5th, 11th, left voicemail messages on the 10th, 11th, and 12th, and they've received no response. Big problem. And I really hope that Judge Kaplan can address this very seriously and very sharply to avoid the defense using this argument, either for their defense or on appeal. All right, let's move on to the detailed witness testimony. Alrighty, well, let's get into it. So before they called Nishad Singh, they called someone named Tareq Morad, somebody who had invested with FTX, held a lot of money there, and he was a very quick witness. Frankly, I thought he was a little weak. So the prosecutors asked him pretty basic questions of, how did you learn of Sam Bankman Fried, FTX, etc., with the witness saying that Sam Bankman Fried was revered, that he was all over media and podcasts, and that he also followed Scam Sam on Twitter. The witness saying he opened an account in April 2021, wire transferred money into his FTX account, saying he put $500,000 on his FTX account, trading Bitcoin and Ethereum crypto. The prosecution showed a copy of Sam on Forbes magazine with the witness saying that because SBF was on Forbes magazine, he concluded that Scam Sam was legitimate. The witness saying by November 2022, he had about $250,000 to $280,000 on FTX, saying that when he started hearing on social media, on YouTube, that FTX was having problems, he turned to Twitter, X, to get info from Sam. With the witness saying he concluded that because Sam tweeted everything was okay, that funds are okay, the witness says he was relieved, that he was happy to hear from the leader of the company and assumed that his money was okay. But of course, later, this guy was too slow to take his money out. Later, he found out he couldn't withdraw any of his money. Apparently, they showed in court a screenshot of his account as evidence of all of his money that was stuck with FTX. And that was it. That was it for this witness. The defense cross-examination was pretty interesting. Sam's lawyer said, "Did FTX ever tell you it wouldn't use your money in this way?" Very interesting question. The witness saying only what he read on Twitter. Sam's lawyer asking, "Did you ever have contact or did you ever contact Sam Bankman?" Witness said no. And then the judge asked the witness, "Did you ever read the terms of service?" The witness said no. He could have clicked on it, of course, but he never read it. Judge asking again, "Did you even see how long they were?" Who even reads those things, right? Witness saying no. Then he's asked, "When did you get the terms of service?" He said April 2021, presumably when he opened his account. So pretty interesting they asked those questions about the terms of service. So that was it. That was it for the guy. They moved on to Nishad Singh. The big explosive Nishad Singh. Now, quick recap of Nishad Singh. He was director of engineering at FTX, held a 7.8% stake in the company, so almost 8%. And according to the FTX bankruptcy court, he received a $543 million loan from Alameda Research. He was also a billionaire at the time and met Sam Bankman because he was friends with Scam Sam's little brother named Gabriel. And from there, Sam recruited Nishad. Alrighty, so Nishad's testimony starts off with the prosecution asking Nishad where he worked last year, with Nishad saying FTX, that he was the chief engineer. The prosecution gets into it straight away, asking Nishad, "Did you commit any crimes?" He said yes, fraud and campaign finance violations. Asked, "Who did you conspire with?" Nishad said, Sam Bankman Fried, Caroline Ellison, and Gary Wang. He also added, "and others." Interesting there. I always wondered why Sam Trabucco did not get charged. Anyways, the prosecution asked him, "What is venture capital?" With Nishad saying it's investment money in a company hoping to make returns. He was asked by Judge Kaplan, how is it different from buying stocks? With Nishad saying it's private equity and not necessarily publicly traded. Asked, does he have a cooperative agreement with the prosecution? His plea deal. He said yes. Asked when he first met Sam Bankman Fried. Nishad said he was close friends with his younger brother, Gabe, then saying he went from Berkeley to working for Facebook, and then in 2017 he started working with Alameda Research with Sam and of course Gary Wang, which they were both running at the time. With Nishad saying he was a software engineer at Alameda Research. Asked if he met Caroline Ellison. He said yes, that at the time she was a trader. He went on to say that from Alameda he moved over to FTX and that Sam and Gary Wang were in charge. Prosecution asked, what did Sam do that Gary Wang did not do? Nishad said endorsement deals. Asked if Gary Wang was involved with venture investments. He said no. He said, I don't think so, that Sam was in charge of all that. Asked if he lived with the defendant. He said yes, in the Albany penthouse. in the Bahamas. Asked about his relationship dynamics with Sam, he said, "I've been intimidated." Sam's lawyer objected to the question, overruled. So very interesting part here. Nishad said Sam is a formidable character, meaning inciting fear, that he came to distrust Sam. Asked how much he was worth, he said he was a billionaire. Asked if he was given loans by the company, he said yes. Asked if he used the money from the exchange to make large purchases, he said yes, and to make donations. Asked who was in charge of Alameda. Nishad said Trabuco and Caroline, but ultimately it was Sam Bankman Fried who was in charge. Asked by the prosecutors, how do you know that? Nishad said one of his computer screens was Alameda, and that Sam would unilaterally spend Alameda's money. Unilaterally. He also said that Sam had threatened to fire Caroline. Prosecution asked, how would you describe Sam's approach to spending, with Nishad saying it was excessive? Objection! Sustained. So, stricken off. Did you tell the defendant your view, your point of view? Nishad said that he learned of the spending after the fact, saying that he complained about the excess and flashiness, which he found was different from what they were supposedly building the company for. Effective altruism. Nishad said that Sam told him he does not understand, that Sam was just out there interacting with people, and that Nishad thought that they were being fleeced out of $20 million. Sam said that Nishad was sowing doubt. Prosecution asked, what is Genesis Digital Assets Mining? Nishad said they took a trip to Kazakhstan and they spent $1 million. How do you spend $1 million in Kazakhstan? When asked to elaborate on what is crypto mining, he said it was proof of work and that crypto gives out rewards. Crypto mining. When asked what crypto mining is producing, Nishad explained that this creates solutions to problems and they're bundled, the transactions are bundled on the blockchain. This is all verified and the rewards are handed out in crypto and or Bitcoin. Then asked, what is a blockchain? It's a database of transactions in a distributed ledger, in a distributed manner. So Nishad's testimony does get a little bit more detailed than some of the other ones. Then he's asked about an investment in Anthropic, asked what that was. Nishad said it's an AI company focused on AI safety. Asked what was $500 million investments for. It was objected, sustained. Asked what was the involvement in the deal for Anthropic. Nishad said that Sam had set it up and decided on it, and that the investment was done through Alameda. Then they move on to talk about K5, what this was, and what did Sam say about it. Nishad said they were connected with celebrities and that K5 was important. Sam told him of a post-Super Bowl party back in LA where Sam met the most impressive people he'd ever met at Michael Kives' house. Asked who was in attendance at the party, where at this party, Hillary Clinton was there. Other attendees included Orlando Bloom, Kate Hudson, Kamala Harris's husband, Leonardo DiCaprio. Did you observe between Sam, Michael Kives, or Brian Baum of K5? With Nishad saying that he saw them at the Albany penthouse in the Bahamas. Then a photo was shown with Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom, and Michael Kives with Sam. With Nishad saying that Sam sent him and Gary Wang a balance sheet saying to give millions in bonus to Michael Kives and Brian Baum, and $1 billion in investment in their venture capital firm. There's a lot of money being thrown around here. Nishad said that he objected. He thought they shouldn't send the money, with Sam saying it's basically done. Nishad added that he objected and that he wanted Sam to send his own money instead of FTX money. Then prosecution shows a spreadsheet of FTX deals. Do you see the FTX arena? He's asked. Nishad said yes, $135 million, with $28 million going to Steph Curry. That is a lot of money just to be paid for an FTX commercial. Jeez. Funny enough, the list also includes Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. Paid a nice $14 million to promote FTX, Sam Bankman Fried, FTT token, and probably crypto in general. He was asked who Steph Curry was, answering a great basketball players. Asked who Tom Brady, Gisele Bundchen were. Nishad saying quarterback and model. Asked who Larry David was. He said, of course, the guy from Seinfeld. Asked by the prosecutor, how much did all these celebrity endorsements add up to? Nishad said all those endorsement deals added up to $1.3 billion. That is a whole lot of money.
Maybach